The High Court has allowed the forfeiture of 49 million ringgit from Tan Sri Low Hock Peng's bank accounts due to his non-attendance to challenge the third-party claim. Hock Peng, who is not in the country, is the father of fugitive low-tech Jho. This is the first successful forfeiture by the government on matters related to 1MDB. In response, Jho Low's legal team called the move an inevitable result of illegitimate proceedings brought by the current regime, in which the outcome was preordained and politically motivated, blurring the lines between executive and judicial power. The order was made by Justice Muhammad Zaini Mazlan following an application by DPP Aaron Chelaya. The action to forfeit was done by the Royal Malaysia Police's Commercial Crime Unit. Singapore is returning to Malaysia about 50.3 million Sing dollars seized in connection with 1MDB, according to the AFP. AFP quoted the Singapore Police Force as saying their Commercial Affairs Department had filed applications to return the funds and the courts had given their approval. According to the Singapore Police, part of the monies had already been transferred, while the rest are still being processed by the banks. Meanwhile, ex-Goldman Sachs banker Roger Ng is still in plea talks to avoid a US trial on money laundering charges related to the beleaguered state fund. Bloomberg reports that at a hearing on Thursday in Brooklyn, New York, prosecutors told the judge that talks have been slowed by a tremendous amount of discovery evidence. In response, the judge said discovery needs to move forward, despite the complex nature of the case, and set the next hearing for August 20th. Sarawak tycoon Dato' Amar Abdul Hamid Safaris has emerged as a substantial shareholder in oil and gas concern Dayang Enterprise Holdings. He now holds a 26.42% stake, or 254.92 million shares, in the company, which he acquired on July 18th. Ahmad Hamid is chairman of Naim Holdings, of which Dayang Enterprise is an associate. He is also the cousin of former Sarawak Chief Minister Tun Abdul Taib Mahmud. Dayang had, on May 17th this year, proposed a rights issue, private placement and subscription to raise up to 77.2 million ringgit. It then said that the rights issue would be undertaken on a full subscription basis and that it had procured unconditional undertakings from its shareholders, namely Naim and others. Abdul Rahim Awang has resigned as president of Barakas Offshore Petroleum due to personal reasons. He had joined the group on September 2, 2013 as the vice president and chief corporate officer. Taking over the post effective today is founder and major shareholder Nik Hamdan Daud. In March, Nik Hamdan had stepped down as Barakas president and CEO, similarly citing personal reasons. He currently holds a 15.7% stake in the group. Nik Hamdan's return comes at a time when Barakas is attempting to revive its financial health. In early July, the debt-laden firm found a white knight in the form of Singapore's Leka Group. In order to get out of its PN17 status, Barakas proposed a regularisation plan that includes disposal of a pipe-lay barge to Leka, as well as a share capital reduction, share placements, plus debt settlements. A potential rate cut by the US Federal Reserve could be a boon for emerging markets, including Malaysia. Standard Chartered's head of managed investments and products management Danny Chang says in the event of a US rate cut where it doesn't lead to recession, it will be 100% good for equities. Chang explains that if a cut does happen, Northeast Asia markets, including China, South Korea and Hong Kong, are those noted to benefit from foreign inflows. As such, the funds would also flow into Southeast Asia markets, but at a much slower pace. However, Chang sees Malaysian equities continuing to underperform against its peers due to expensive valuation and lower corporate earnings growth. He says the FBM KLCI is trading at a PE ratio of 16 to 17 times, while its peers are trading a low teen between 10 to 11 times. In June, the Fed had hinted that it was open to cutting rates as soon as July if the US and China didn't reach a détente in their trade war and the downward risk continue. The Street estimates that there is a 100% probability of one rate cut and a 93% probability of two rate cuts by end 2019.